a white former South Carolina officer was sentenced to 20 years in prison on Thursday for fatally shooting an unarmed black motorist in the back in 2015, wrapping up a case that became a rallying cry for the Black Lives Matter movement. Attorneys for ex-North Charleston officer Michael Slager said he shot 50-year-old Walter Scott in self-defense after the two fought and Scott grabbed Slager's stun gun. They said race didn't play a role in the shooting and Slager never had any racial animus toward minorities. Still, Slager pleaded guilty in federal court to violating Scott's civil rights. As part of the plea agreement reached in May, prosecutors dropped state murder charges. A year ago, a state judge declared a mistrial when jurors deadlocked in that case. "This is a tragedy that shouldn't have happened," U.S. District Judge David Norton said. A bystander recorded the shooting on a cell phone, and it was shared around the world, setting off protests across the U.S. As demonstrators said it was another egregious example of police officers mistreating African Americans. Slager fired at Scott's back from 17 feet, 5 meters, away. 5 of 8 bullets hit him. The video was seized on by many as vivid proof of what they had been arguing for years, that white officers too often use deadly force unnecessarily against black people. When the jury failed to reach a verdict in the state murder case, many black people and others were shocked and distressed, because the video seemed to some to be an open and shut case. Some despaired of ever seeing justice. Scott's family testified before the sentence was handed down and said they had forgiven Slager. "I am not angry at you, Michael. Michael, I forgive you, and Michael, I do pray for you now and for your family, because we've gone through a traumatic time," said Scott's brother Anthony. The shooting angered local African Americans who complained for years that North Charleston police harassed blacks, pulling them over or questioning them unnecessarily as they cracked down on crime. But after the shooting, the Scott family successfully pleaded for calm, asking everyone to let the justice system run its course. 2 months after the shooting, a young white man killed 9 black church members in a racially motivated attack during a Bible study in Charleston. The family members of those victims struck a similar forgiveness tone after that attack. Before the sentence was handed down, the judge had to decide whether the shooting amounted to second-degree murder or manslaughter. Norton found that it was murder. "No matter what sentence I give, neither the Scott family nor the Slager family is going to think that it's right," the judge said. After the shooting, Slager picked up his stun gun and placed it next to Scott. Slager contends he was securing the weapon. Prosecutors think he put it there to bolster his self-defense story. An emotional Slager told the Scott family that he was grateful for their forgiveness. "This tragic event that occurred in seconds has changed the lives of everyone involved," he said. "With my actions that day, Walter Scott is no longer with his family, and I am responsible for that."